Today on Public Eye News, battleground states like Wisconsin and Michigan proved to be the deciding factor in this year's election. And later, a death row inmate faces the Supreme Court seeking his freedom after having 9 execution dates previously set.
Our very own Andy Jordan will have your weather forecast for the next couple of days, and later, Luke Little will bring you a spectacular sports breakdown. I'm Bianca Kroll.
And I'm Reed Hall, and this is Public Eye News. On Sunday, Trump made his 4th visit to Wisconsin in just 8 days, highlighting his campaign's effort in the pivotal battleground state. Trump spoke for nearly 2 hours to the residents of Juneau in rural Dodge County, where he told his supporters, quote, "If we win Wisconsin, we win the presidency," end quote. Many Republicans are worried Trump won't have the ability to match Democrats' enthusiasm in the state, a state Republicans have won just once in the last 40 years. Trump won Wisconsin in 2016 over Hillary Clinton by fewer than 23,000 votes and lost to Joe Biden in 2020 by less than 21,000. Trump last week also made a visit to Democratic stronghold Dane County, his first ever visit, in hopes to boost the turnout in blue counties. Trump's campaign and outside supporting groups have outspent Harris on advertising Wisconsin by over $4 million. Trump also sees Michigan as a challenge, but for now his focus remains on Wisconsin. And a 72-year-old Michigan man has been sentenced to 7 years in Russian prison for allegedly fighting as a mercenary alongside Ukraine. The ruling came the day in which Russian prosecutors said Stephen Hubbard signed a contract with Ukraine after Russia sent in troops back in 2022. Prosecutors had called for a sentence in a maximum security prison, but a court ruling sent him to a general security prison instead. The charges also carried a potential 15-year sentence, but was reduced to 7 upon consideration of Hubbard's age. Hubbard is the first American known to have been convicted on charges related to fighting alongside Ukraine. Arrests of Americans have become increasingly common in Russia, raising concerns Russia could be targeting Americans as bargaining chips to bring back convicted Russians.
Northern Michigan University is participating in the nationwide Amplifying Student Voices, or ASV, convening on October 5th. This hybrid event is brought together by over 400 student leaders who want to engage in virtual and in-person dialogues. ASV focuses on the diversity, belonging, and equality in higher education. They also focus on the strategies of fulfilling the promise of an inclusive democracy among students. Sean Rees-Butler, NMU Assistant Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion, said that this is empowering to students to shape the narrative of campus and feel more connected and supported. Butler also said NMU participating in ASV is allowing the platform to listen and engage with the student voices directly. The perspectives from the students would be gathered to contribute to the ongoing conversation for higher education. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources has announced a major enhancement to the popular Upper Falls to Conemaugh Falls State Park. The falls will soon feature a new, fully accessible 900-foot-long boardwalk that will provide views of the 200-foot-wide falls. The boardwalk will also feature a view of the old-growth forest. Kevin Dennis, supervisor of DNR Parks and Recreation Division, said that this newly accessible boardwalk will replace the old stairway structure. Dennis also said despite the construction happening, the area will still be open for viewing and accessible this fall. This new structure will also feature benches on the boardwalk. This construction was made possible by the $3.275 million allocation in federal relief funding. As we near closer and closer to Election Day, Michigan Democrats are looking to what they are calling responsible gun owners in an attempt to increase their vote count. CBS News reporter Jack Springate has more.
Congresswoman from Arizona, Gabby Giffords, almost lost her life to gun violence while in office, but she and her husband, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, aren't shy about their support for the Second Amendment. They're using their story to show Michigan voters how they can support common sense gun laws while also being proud gun owners. One of those Michigan gun owners says her status doesn't automatically make her a Republican voter.
The facts are that there are a lot of responsible gun owners that actually do believe in gun laws for safety, and the narrative has been created that it's two separate sides when really it is not.
Perry says she supports the freedom we have to own guns for personal protection and for hunting, but she's also not naive to the inherent dangers of having a firearm in the home.
It is something to assess for. If somebody is a danger to themselves or somebody else, then we do talk about where is that gun, how is it stored, do we need it out of the home for right now, and then have it returned when you are more safe again.
Both Republicans and Democrats are ramping up efforts to win Michigan in November. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders spent the weekend in the Mitten as the Trump team plans to speak with voters in Rochester on Monday. This also comes just 2 days out of Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance's visit to Eastern Market. That's where 2 men lost their lives to gun violence following a Lions game last month. He's expected to speak with auto workers about the auto industry. Reporting in Detroit, I'm Jack Springate, CBS News Detroit.
Now don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break.
Ukrainian civilians flee their homes in search of safe refuge. A filmmaker's volunteer van becomes their shelter, hospital, and confessional. In the rear view on POV.
Tonight at 10 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back. I'm Andy Jordan, and I'll be taking you through our Public Eye weather report. Taking a look at our roof cam here, you can see some pretty strong winds. A small craft advisory has been issued, so maybe a good day to steer clear of the water. Taking a look across the map here, a lot of sun across the UP. In Houghton, it is 58 degrees. In Ironwood, 60 degrees. Iron Mountain, 61 degrees. Menominee, 65 degrees. Taking a look at the east side of the map here. In Escanaba, it is 64 degrees. In Manistee, 61 degrees and partly cloudy. In Sault Ste. Marie, 55 and cloudy. And back here in Marquette, 59 and sunny. Looking at our current conditions, winds northwest at 16 miles per hour with a barometric pressure of 29.9 inches and falling. Looking to tonight, you can expect clear skies with a low of 51. Winds north-northwest at 9 miles per hour, with our moon phase at a waxing crescent. Looking ahead to tomorrow, you can expect sunny skies, high of 56, low of 45, with winds north-northwest at 13 miles per hour. And looking ahead to the rest of the week, Wednesday, 53 degrees, low of 45, with partly cloudy skies. Thursday, 64, low of 42, with sunny skies. And on Friday, 66 degrees with a low of 53 and cloudy skies. That is it for your weather report. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Andy, for that weather update. It looks like a beautiful week of weather ahead for us here in Marquette. Now taking a look at our national news, where Oklahoma has set 9 execution dates for death row inmate Richard Glossip. The state has fed him 3 last meals, and Glossip has even been married twice while awaiting execution. Glossip first challenged Oklahoma's lethal injection process 9 years ago, but was rejected by the U.S. Supreme Court. The new delay comes amid Oklahoma Attorney General Genter Drummond joining Glossip in seeking to overturn his 1997 murder conviction. Glossip has always maintained his innocence after being accused of hiring Justin Sneed to kill his former boss. Drummond has said he does not believe Glossip is innocent, but contends Glossip didn't receive a fair trial. Drummond claims prosecutors knew Sneed lied on the witness stand over a psychiatric condition and cited a box of evidence was destroyed that would have proved Glossip's innocence. Despite this, Oklahoma's appeals court upheld the conviction, and the state's pardon and parole board was deadlocked in a vote to grant him clemency. A final decision is expected by early summer. And in Washington, D.C., where the Supreme Court let stand a decision barring emergency abortions that are in violation of Texas law. Not a single justice detailed their reasoning behind their decision that says hospitals cannot be required to provide pregnancy terminations if they break the law. The court declined a Biden administration push to throw out the lower court order where they claim hospitals must perform emergency abortions in cases where a patient's health or life is at risk. The administration pointed to an earlier ruling allowing emergency abortions in Idaho, but did not receive the same success with Texas. Texas fought back, highlighting a state Supreme Court ruling that said doctors don't have to wait until a woman's life is in immediate danger to provide an abortion legally. Doctors, though, say this ruling is dangerously vague. The Texas case started after the overturning of Roe v. Wade back in 2022, and the newest ruling comes just weeks before the presidential election, where abortion has been one of the biggest issues on both sides. And Pennsylvania college student Brandon Bowman is a recent victim of a hate-related crime on a college campus. Public Eye News would like to take this time to make a statement that the college campus is a place of learning that should be shared by all. Please advocate for your peers and be a friend to everyone. KDKA reporter Ricky Sayer has more.
So I was walking. Pitt student Brandon Bowman was on his way home late at night.
Walking home, trying to get some sleep. I had class in the morning.
When he says a man in a group of about 8 made eye contact with him, and the Star of David he keeps close to his heart.
They identified me as a Jew, And then they said things about Israel, my religion, and then says more defamatory insults and slurs about the Jewish people. Very vile, very inflammatory language.
Bowman stood his ground.
I said, I do not tolerate what you're saying to me about my religion, my identity. And while I was standing my ground, they decided that it would be a good idea to punch me, attack me, kick me on my body, because I was Jewish.
A nearby store owner intervened, and Bowman was able to go home with just a bruise below his eye.
Things could have been a lot worse, and I'm really grateful that he was able to save me in this scenario.
He says the pain was intense and that the moment was life-changing.
And that was a very tough time for me. Not only was I physically hurt, but I was demoralized.
Bowman says despite what happened, he has no plans to take off his necklace.
I wear my Star of David necklace because I want every Jew to be comfortable with their Star of David. I have a brother who's a freshman at the University of Maryland. I want him to be proud of wearing his star.
Many victims of crime choose to stay private, not Bowman.
I hope we raise awareness. I want people to hear my story. This is happening all over.
Just like what happened to two of his friends, Jewish Pitt students who were attacked in August.
I'm, worried about prospective students. They want to go to Pitt, but they're worried about these attacks, and I tell them that we don't back down. We don't back down to people who want to intimidate Jewish students anywhere. We are here, we're proud, and we have the community on our backs.
A Jewish student with no plans to hide his religious identity.
And we'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Public Eye Sports. I'm your host, Luke Niddle, and I'll be taking you through our Monday breakdown. Leading off the Cats coverage, the NMU football team opened up GLIAC play this weekend against Saginaw Valley State, as the Cardinals laid down the hurt with a 63-14 loss at home. The Cardinals picked up right where they left off against Northern, as a nearly identical 62-17 loss in 2023 set the stage for this one. Northern's offense struggled heavily, turning the ball over 4 times, only gaining 183 yards and 12 first downs, with 4 of those chain movements due to penalties. The lack of ball movement was apparent as the Wildcats' only 2 scores came off a blocked punt that set the offense up inside the 10-yard line and a defensive pass interference from the Cardinals that put NMU 4 yards from pay dirt. Northern now drops to 0-5 on the season and will travel to Allendale next Saturday to take on the number 2-ranked Grand Valley State Lakers. And moving over just a few feet to the newly renovated Vandeman Arena, the Wildcats volleyball team hosted another Laker school, Lake Superior State, last Saturday for Well. NMU is still looking for their first sweep in the redone crib, but they couldn't quite do it against LSSU, still picking up the dub 3-1. Alongside getting the conference win and moving to 9-4 on the season, Jacqueline Smith became the all-time leader in kills for the Cats with 1,668. Jacqueline currently leads the team in kills on the season with 207, a little less than 100 above second place, and also leads in kills per set with 3.98. Northern will continue their march to the top of the conference with a match against the much-despised Michigan Tech Huskies this Thursday. The Wildcats are also looking for a little vengeance at the Vandy, remembering a humiliating sweep in the GLIAC tournament in 2023 that ended their season. That's all I have for sports. Back to the news desk.
Thank you, Luke, for the sports update. Did you have a chance to catch the football game at all?
I did not. I was actually out on the western side of the UP taking a look at the fall colors around the UP this fall. So did you get to go to the football game?
I did. I think I enjoyed it, but
Awesome. Well, that's all the time we have today on Public Eye News. I'm Reed Hall.
And I'm Bianca Cole.
We'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.